Hello Aries, this is your reading for 15 to Celtic cross spread. On the bottom of the primary, we have Eight of Pentacles reversed. So I see no longer being an apprentice. This is, being an apprentice and working. And I see possible like a graduation, moving up, maybe like a promotion type of deal. And the reason I say this is because you also have Three of Pentacles reversed. So I see no longer being an apprentice. Or it could be you're working really hard and you're just not getting recognized. It could be both of those, actually. I also see possibly not taking the initiative and not working with a team. And you're working really hard, but you're not being fruitful. Like you're not seeing the fruits of your labor. But with this reverse, it says the time is right to change, okay? That's usually what readings are all about. Something's going to change. I didn't pull from the clarification deck because actually I haven't clarified. I'd do that with you. But right now it's Eight of Pentacles upright. I always get those together. Just talks about moving on, sailing into the sunset to be more positive. I think that would be some advice for you. Two cards popped out immediately before I even got to the spread. Two major arcana, the Lovers and Strength. That's how they popped out in that order. And technically it's this order. So you have a lot of major arcana in your reading. Let's see. Lovers, Strength, Devil, Sun, and the Hermit, and Death. So you've got a lot, something really important happening. And these are the energies that you can't really control. You just have to kind of roll with them and see what happens. So with Lovers and Strength together, to me it looks like you're having to be strong about making a decision. It could be about love, but it could just be about some kind of a union. Yeah, and then since we do have the Sun, I see just having a strong life force, being happy, being complete, and having a healing. I also see like lust and Adam and Eve, that temptation. So you could be faced with some kind of temptation at some point. Could be the temptation to stray, because I know this is a love triangle, and this is the lust card. We do have the Devil, but we don't have. Oh wait, I was thinking of the Devil. We do have the Devil, so there could be some kind of temptation, some kind of a karmic pull towards somebody. Okay. When I see the Lovers, this is talking about having to choose between the desires, like unhealthy desires and healthy desires. And the reason I say that is because of the Devil. Okay, so you're having to choose about that. And with Strength, it's like you need the willpower, the control in order to do it. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of be like spinning your wheels. You're going to work really hard and not get anywhere. Your situation is Page of Pentacles reversed. And this tells me that, well, first you just kind of need to like lighten up and relax. And this is losing focus. So this makes me wonder if it's almost a vice as well, like to let something go. Something that you found valuable. Something that you were fixated on. Some of you be leaving a job, okay, because this is usually a new job opportunity, and here it's not. So it's as if you're not getting that job, but you already graduated, you've already become a professional, not an apprentice anymore. And it's like maybe perhaps this money has been your focus all of this time. You've been fixated on it, and it hasn't really gotten you anywhere. And so you're thinking about possibly giving up. Or you just maybe job loss, okay? But also I see just kind of stuck on somebody from the past. And then crossing you is the Devil. So I really could see being stuck on somebody, like you have that karmic tie. And we did talk about, healthy and unhealthy desires, making the choice between them. And you're kind of, especially since we have death, I didn't think about that. You're losing your identity. It's like your identity's being consumed or subsumed, I guess, through something like some kind of a higher power, something that's stronger than you are. And it looks like it's bad to me because we have Devil and Death. So it looks pretty bad. And you have to probably use your self-control or some kind of strength to leave. Like you have to step up, stand up for yourself, and let go of something. This is also a forgiveness card as well. So that your choice would be to forgive somebody for temptation or for like a third party, because I do have two third parties here. And this could be lust or temptation. Also, again, the Devil. Because it seems like you have a lost opportunity, or it just could be a restriction. This is like see the opportunities with these limitations or these restrictions. Also see you're losing your focus because of a high sex drive or high sexual desires, i.e. list and just sex. Okay, this is a very sexual card. But it's like you're needing to look beneath the surface of things. Sometimes with the devil, it's powerlessness. You feel like you've lost sight of something. You feel like you've lost yourself. You're powerless, and this is what you're striving for. It could be the lust that's making you powerless, but you also need to be strong and get your strength back. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, there's some kind of obsessive love. So you're fixated on somebody, obsession or addiction in love. This is in reverse. So you really super. This is fixation. This could be to the extreme. You could be super addicted to somebody, or you're just really stuck on someone. Not necessarily like a stalker, just stuck on them. You can't get over something, and it's a karmic tie. You're not able to be released. And if somebody's trying to release you, you're just not accepting of it. All right. Coming to your situation, we have Two of Pentacles. So this tells me you're juggling something, and you're actually doing pretty well at it, okay? So no need to be scared about anything like that. And let's see, perhaps this relationship, maybe you're juggling, where is that at? Yeah. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, so it's like the Ace of Pentacles is being, put on here. It's like you're juggling a fixation with what you know is right. Like, should you do this? Should you not? I also see this is what led to the situation is the juggling of two people, because we do have a lot of 3 energy in here, like juggling more than what you can handle. So you may just be super stressed based on a toxic relationship or a toxic work environment. That's very possible. And then some of you may be juggled by another person, or you'd be juggling more than one person. You'd be juggling 2 jobs. Whatever it is, very stressful. And with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, whoever's doing the juggling is not interested in the future of the relationship. Okay? They're just not interested. So, you're working hard to have this relationship, and it's going to come to nothing. And with the Lovers, you're working really hard to reconcile. Okay. But it's not going to be fruitful. You're not reconciling. Sorry, Aries. But clarifying Two of Pentacles, because anytime I have a 2 card, I like to clarify. Remember, you're moving on, being single, right? Sailing in the sunset, being happy, being single. Let's see here. For those of you who it's for work, I think you're either getting promotion, like you're no longer being an apprentice, or you're losing a job. Perhaps you did not move on from being an apprentice, and so you lose your job. All right, Two of Pentacles. Magician, okay. So I see some manipulation going on here. Something that you may not be aware of just yet. Ooh, 5 of Cups, upright. So I see a disappointment and a hurt in love. So for some of you, it is about love. Okay, Magician. Okay. With the Devil and the Magician, this is a manipulator. Okay. And there is abuse going on. So I would see this as just being very toxic as far as a relationship. It could even be in the workplace, you guys. Because, bad people are everywhere. But I see an abuse. Somebody's trying to block you and definitely manipulating you. This is very toxic. And usually when you get the Magician and the Lovers, I think you think this person is your soulmate. And that's why you can't let them go. But they're really bad for you. I think you have a tie. And if they are a soulmate, they're not a twin flame. So it doesn't look very good at all. But then again, I just see the manipulation, the juggling. Put that back. Remember, this is what led to your situation. It's this juggling, the not being able to keep up, okay? And juggling this being blocked, this abuse, this manipulation. And, thinking, are they a soulmate? Are they not? I'm getting this abuse. Would this person abuse me? Okay. And also with the Magician, I think you be juggling work and love, because you're mastering yourself at your job. It looks like you do stop being an apprentice and you become a professional. So, and this was a person who takes action. They're able to manifest what they need. And so at work, you're doing great, but in love, not so much, because we have 5 of Cups, which is that disappointment in love. But all isn't lost, okay? But if you're wanting to reconcile with somebody, because he's upright, there is no reconciliation. He'd have to be reversed to be reconciling, okay? All right, let's go to the past. We have the Hermit reversed. So this is coming out of contemplation. This is also falling off the bandwagon. So I see you trying to go back to somebody for whom you have a tie, some kind of an affinity, and they're just a manipulator. They're an abuser. Yeah. And you're having to make a decision, and there probably was a third party, and it could be that the manipulation or the abuse is that you don't want this to happen and they're doing it anyway. Also, this is seeking for the truth and just needing to let it go because it's not going to come to anything. Like, if you think they're juggling somebody else, don't just start stalking, okay? Because they're not going to admit it, and if they do admit it, they're not going to care. It's going to come to nothing. Sorry about that. Also see somebody be studying with their education because we do have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So some people be going for their education. This could be some online classes. And I also just see learning and studying as far as education goes. Maybe learning and studying information. Maybe you are doing a little research because this is a researcher. Maybe you're doing some research on somebody. This is also just let it go. Okay, it's not going to give you anything worth knowing. Okay, because you probably already pretty much know. So you may be resisting letting go of something. You're just going to have to humble yourself, change your attitude about what's going on, and then just rejoin the world, okay? And I think you're just afraid of being alone and you're settling. Again, we have this too focused on something. And I think it's too focused on the truth. That was in your past. But I think you're coming out of that. Perhaps before you weren't researching. And then you do and you find out some information. I also see acting a little hasty. Like falling off, because he's also falling off the bandwagon. So going back to something that's addictive for you. And if I see abuse, it might possibly be drugs for some people. But if that doesn't apply to you, then it's not for you. Okay, so please don't say I'm not on drugs. Okay, good for you. Let's go to what crowns you. It's the Six of Swords reversed. This is not being able to move on, not being able to let go. And we did have the Eight of Pentacles upright, which talks about moving on forward. And then here, if it's in reverse, these are almost like the same, not being able to move on, let go. Then when I pulled from the other deck, or I saw the bottom, and it was upright, that's saying you are going to move forward in a positive way. Also see just not moving on from a job. So maybe you do get your recognition and these cards are just in reverse because you're no longer an apprentice anymore. And Six of Swords tells me that when it's in reverse, that the troublesome phase isn't over. You don't have any peace about this. You can't let it go. And also the person you're thinking about, they don't care about you. They've canceled thinking about you. They're not interested. We've had 2 of those cards that say they're not interested anymore. You have to let them go. And you're very defensive. Your mind's a little neurotic, and this is talking about you have to leave the people or the situation behind, whatever it is, if you want to break the bondage, okay? You have to. You have some kind of tie. You're not growing. You're not moving on. And you think this is your soulmate, but it doesn't look like it. This person's feelings for you, they're totally gone, okay? Or that they just never cared about you to begin with. They're the devil. Yeah, and then with the Hermit, I see not moving on, but the need to move on and rejoin the world. Let this go. It's keeping you in the past. Come back into the world with the rest of us people, those of us who are sane, the non-neurotics. And then with the Lovers and Six of Swords and the Hermit, there's just a lot of loneliness and separation. And maybe you're so lonely and so separated that you're willing to go back to something that's not good for you. Don't do it. And that's crowning you. Usually that's the best possible outcome, but in some cases it's just crowning the whole reading, what it's about. Now in your future, you have Seven of Pentacles reversed. So I see not taking the time to reflect on your relationships. This is also not reflecting. So 2 non-reflecting cards. That was in the past, and it's also in your future. So it's like nothing's changed. If you've fallen off the bandwagon, you've gone back to being the hermit again. Okay? And just, it's a bad investment. This person isn't worth shit, pretty much. And also, you'll find out this person's not invested in you, which I've been saying for a while now. And if you hesitate to let this go, you're going to regret it. You have to confront this issue that you're having head on and let it go. And I think you're afraid that you've spent so much time waiting for this to come to fruition that you feel like it's going to be a waste of time. All this time that you've been holding on. And moving on is never a waste of time. And you realize that after you've actually moved on. It's just that fear of, oh, okay, I have to let go. And all this time I've wasted, it feels like maybe I shouldn't. And that would be the exact opposite of what you should do. Yeah, there's no hope with this person. They don't care about you. They're not invested in you. It's a bad investment. Okay. I'm not saying they're not going to come and like sleep with you. They probably would. It's a very high sex drive card. But they're just a manipulator and an abuser. And they're kind of leaving you a little unbalanced. And they're leaving everything in your hands to juggle. Like the disappointment and having self-esteem and no self-esteem and grief and shame. The next card, the Five of Wands reversed, is describing you as well as some advice for you, okay? Sorry, I had to get a breath for a second. I feel like I'm talking a whole bunch. Now you have the Two of Pentacles. You know, anytime you have this in the Two of Pentacles, there's like bad luck, okay? I see you're making irrational decisions, whether it's like going back to something that's not good for you. Listen to your dreams. Your dreams are going to tell you the truth. They're going to reveal truth. If there's something you don't know, they're going to tell you. And the sun is something coming to light. So they're, okay. So maybe juggling some secrets that would lead to disappointment. And they're withholding the information to have power. I don't think this is you though. And it's almost like you're not willing to confront some uncomfortable emotions. Whether it's about being lonely, whatever it might be. And if you're still in a relationship, this doesn't mean that you don't want to break up. But for some of you, it means you've already broken up in the past. For those of you who are at a job, you feel like you don't really stand out. You're not really distinguished with the Magician. That's probably how you're feeling. But your advice is that perhaps you need to stand out more. Because we do have a lot of the work cards about being recognized for your work. They're all in reverse. So some of you don't. Even if you've grown, you're no longer an apprentice, you don't feel like you're recognized. And with the Magician, you are super talented. You can, like, you're the best at what you do, and it's like nobody's even noticing. Or you have a very dominating boss who doesn't give a shit. They don't think you're valuable. Okay. And I think you're deciding whether or not to go back to a job where you weren't appreciated, or stay, not moving on at a job where you're not appreciated. And definitely go where you're recognized for who you are, okay? Five of Wands is also just giving up. And we have the Death and your outcome, so I see end of a conflict. You're wanting just all this conflict to be over. You're being very patient, but there's some soul searching you need to do. Because the willingness you have to go back to something that's not good for you, and the inability to move on, something toxic's going on, there's some soul searching you need. And it could be the Hermit, you're not doing it. Because we also have the Seven of Pentacles reverse, not doing that reflection. So the advice here is, make this upright. You need to sort out the areas of your life. So when you let this person go, even if you're not with them, if you let them go in your mind, you're not going to take any baggage with you from this. You're going to need to move past the conflict to be stronger. Because your aim is strength, okay? You're going to have to change some kind of a belief system you have in order to do it. Whether it's you believe this person's this way or you believe you're meant to be together, there has to be some kind of a change of mind. We do have an 8 here, and 8s remind me of change of mind. When you change your mind, you have infinite possibilities after that. We do have an 8 of Pentacles. We actually had 8 of Pentacles twice. We have 2 5 cards next to each other. 5 and 5 which makes me think of emotional renewal. Something has to come to an end, but it's going to bring about an emotional renewal. All right, your environment and people around you. The only thing I can think of for this, because the reading is pretty negative, is that something comes to light. Also, as far as your environment and people around you, and especially with Page of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles talks about no new job opportunity coming. But with the Sun coming up, I think currently there is no job, but eventually what comes to light is a new job. Because this is a new job opportunity just around the corner. You can't see it yet, but then it's going to come to light. And then for those of you where somebody's having this secret, it's going to come out. And it's going to be in your favor. You're going to get this positivity. You're going to get your self-esteem back. You're going to be recognized. You're going to be like the star because the Sun is a star. In fact, you have two cards talking about the Sun because this is the Leo's card. He's ruled by the Sun. And this is the Sun card. So it's very positive, happy energy. And you're going to be able to share your achievements. You're going to radiate who you are. Or that's at least what you want. I don't think you're able to do it right now, but you will be. You really want things to get better. And you want the freedom to live simply. And you want work that doesn't take very much effort. Which is the exact opposite of this, okay? Like this is working really hard, putting in lots of effort, and not getting anything. And in your environment, what you want is to work with little effort. Now, for those of you who you're not having any problems at work, I actually see just a really positive information for you. Like you're being recognized, valued, okay, because you're no longer an apprentice. You're not being let go. And then when you're moving on with the Sun, it's almost like you get a promotion because we have a new job around the corner. So you get a promotion of some sort where you're really prized and valued for who you are. And then the work you do, you will no longer be this way. You'll actually be this way. You'll work, but it's not going to take so much effort. And you're actually going to see fruition from this effort that you're putting in. But you don't have to put in a lot of effort. It happens. Also, it's almost like a little bit like your dreams come true because this is very positive. Some of you, I could see some kind of an engagement or a commitment, whether it's from a job or from a person. Let's clarify, why is the Sun here in the environment and people around you? Okay, kind of weird. I can't tell you which way this came. And most of these cards are meant to be read upright. It's Six of Wands, which talks about victory and success. I see promotion, Six of Wands promotions. And then if it's in reverse, because I have no idea which way it came out. For some of you, it could be you lose a job because Six of Wands reverse tells me defeat, loss of job, and then a new one comes around, okay? And then for some of you, you just get promotion and you're all good. And also with the Six of Wands and the Sun, everything's going to turn out better than you expect, okay? So I wouldn't be too worried. Maybe that you come out of a depression, or just people are going to actually see you for what you are and you're going to be recognized. Right, coming to Three of Pentacles reversed and your hopes and fears, you may be afraid you're going to be let go from an organization. And maybe if it's as toxic as it looks, perhaps that's your hope as well for some of you. Also, no longer being considered an apprentice and become recognized for your hard work. Let's clarify, what is the Three of Pentacles here for? Okay, Five of Wands. So we have Five of Wands next to each other. And Five of Wands is obstacles and challenges. Also competition. So you be let go from a job because there's somebody that your boss is considering for your same position. So you're having to compete with somebody. Also, if you're let go, you're having to compete for new jobs. Okay. Possibly, you're no longer an apprentice, so you've graduated, for instance, from school, and you're having to fight the competition with other people out there who've done the same thing. But as far as who you are, you're giving up the conflict. You're not a person who's in the competition. Also, this is not being distinguished, not standing out. And then with Five of Wands upright, for the good connotations, you're no longer seen as an apprentice, and you will be distinguished. You will fight to be recognized. These are in the hopes and fears, okay? But with the Three of Pentacles, I'm always seeing threes, especially because it's near the Lovers. And we do have a toxic relationship, some manipulation, some juggling, hope and disappointment, or disappointment in love. We have 3 5s together. To me, Three of Pentacles reversed, or just in general, comes up whenever the Three of Swords doesn't come up. It's another way of showing me a third party. So you may be afraid there's a third party and you're having to compete, whether it's in jobs or in relationships. That's one of your fears. But one of your hopes is that You know, you're no longer seen as an apprentice, and you get recognized, and you stand out amongst the crowd, and you're valued for your skills. All right, in your outcome, you have the Death card. So there's definitely an end coming, but the good news is you're not resisting it. Okay, I think you're willing to have this change, and it's always a good thing. So some of you actually are changing, you are transforming, you're going from apprentice to professional. You letting go of this obsession that you've had, something that's dead. It could be something with a Scorpio. I've never seen water and fire signs go together. Yeah, they make some steam and it's very sexual, but it just doesn't work. Somebody burns up, okay, or gets doused out. You're gonna have to have faith in the face of this change, whatever might be grief, but whatever happens, you're gonna gain a lot of character from it. And because we have the Hermit in reverse, it may be that you're very frustrated because you had a really good time in your life, maybe represented by the sun. Maybe you had a really good job promotion and then you get let go, or that's your fear. And with the Five of Wands and Death, I see the end of a conflict, possibly the end of a competition or the end of a contract. And you're just frustrated that the good time in your life is over. But that's only for a few of you. Most of this is pretty negative, sorry. But with the Lovers and Death, I see, like, especially with the Devil, you have some really great sex with this person that's your lover. But it's the end of the relationship. Like, or it's dead and you're not letting it go. You've got to tame that sexual desire because it's not good for you, whatever this person is. You can have same kind of sexual desire with somebody else. But this particular person, this magician person, is no good for you. You're going to have to, like, rein it in, okay? And if it is a Scorpio, I understand the attraction because Scorpios are very magnetic sexually. And they can be a more dominant sign, so it just tends to go, abusers tend to have more domination kind of characteristics. It doesn't have to be bad, but in this case, this person is bad. And just as a hope, because the sun is right next to the Death card, there's always a silver lining. Just like if for some reason you did lose a job, another job's around the corner. I also see with like Three of Pentacles, you may be trying to indulge in something, represented by falling off the bandwagon. You may be trying to, like, well, I'll go back and just have some really good sex. And then you kind of get caught up in this whole cycle again. So don't do it. Also, this person be polyamorous. So you don't want to get caught up in that, but you realize, yeah, the sex is good and you have this pool, but leave it alone. It's not good for you. I'm also seeing you've passed this point of no return. Like you cannot go back. If you went back, you go in with full knowledge, and that's just crazy because it's so bad for you. And I think perhaps this person may not come back. They may not let you be with them, but you can't let go of it. Or if they do let you back, they'll only let you back as a third party. But with Death and Three of Pentacles, I see a complete transformation of your job. Also, Death, Three of Pentacles, especially Three of Pentacles reversed, I see end of work. So I do see a job loss here, guys, because Page of Pentacles reversed is job loss. Okay, so people are losing jobs. Sorry, guys, this sucks. Just have a few. I read these as I go. Everything applies, just I really see losing a job. Or possibly just moving from a job that's no good for you. And it's really hard for you to let go because, like, all the stuff that happened to you, you feel like, oh, I put up with all this for so long. I've juggled it. I've been so stressed. And then they let me go, you know? It's like I put up with this for nothing, okay? But remember, there's always a silver lining, new job coming around. You also have somebody who's very, like, dominating at your job too. So it could be a boss. And as far as love goes, there's somebody who's very tight-fisted with their love. They're not going to give you their time, their attention. They don't really care about you. So if it's a boss, they don't care about you. If it's a lover, they don't care about you. And perhaps it's somebody you fell in love with at first sight, but you weren't really questioning or researching this person, okay? And you kind of found out who they were through experience. But whatever it is, it's coming to an end, okay? And since this card was right under here, it looks like you're going to have to go back out into the dating world. You're going to have to go back out into the job pool, and you're getting a new job. Maybe not what you were hoping to happen, but you're getting a new job because you're losing one. Also, don't wallow in this. Just let it go because it's not serving you. There's some good information in here as well as some bad. Now, death is right next to strength, so I'm wondering about that. I may have just kind of had it put over there, but it means something. Let me think about that for a second. Maybe putting an end to lust for this person, putting an end to that, getting your self-control back, stepping up, not resisting. Of course, this is very strong energy, so you'd be standing up for yourself and not being passive. Maybe you're the one, you realize what's happening, and you go out and try to find a job. Okay? So you're stepping up to the plate in that instance. And with the Magician, and strength, you're looking for a strong commitment. Okay? You want something like till death do you part. Okay? And so that's what you're looking for. You're going to try and find it. And for those of you who this is a happy reading, maybe you have a job where you're promoted and you're going to be together for a long time. You have a really good commitment. Knight of Pentacles, especially since it's in reverse, normally this is in it for the long haul. Here, not in it for the long haul. So somebody is not in it for the long haul, and it's not you. Okay. Well, some of you might be. It just depends. Different energies change. Somebody's not in it for the long haul. Again, somebody's not invested because Seven of Pentacles is not invested. But with this change, with this end, you're going to have harmony. We have 2 harmony cards, actually, when they go together. You're going to have lots of harmony. You end up in an organization where your talents are recognized and you're appreciated. But you're going to have to handle this change with grace, okay? That's what the strength always talks about, being tactful, having grace. And also, strength tells me, Eight of Pentacles says right time to change. Strength says right place, right time. It's all going to fall into place for you. So it does end up being positive, even though there's some negativity things in here. Let's clarify that. Okay, 9 of Swords popped out, so I see having suffered in silence, maybe feeling guilt or shame for some of you who have some kind of an addiction. But you have been suffering in silence for a long time about this devil person. And then you'd be suffering in silence having been stressed at a job that was toxic. Okay. That wasn't really for anything. I didn't ask a question yet, but it wanted to pop out, so. Alright, even though these are meant to be read upright, if it is like a reverse energy, it could be coming out of a depression or coming out of something toxic, coming out of shame or guilt. Alright, what is the death here for? Can we clarify death as the outcome for Aries? Justice, truth, funny. So all the wrongs are going to be righted. You're going to get your just due. If you're on the up and up, you're fine. Whoever's not on the up and up, they're not fine. Okay. So everything's going to, whatever happens, it's meant to happen, and it's going to be the right thing. And remember, with strength, that's so funny. With strength, we had right place, right time. It's all fine. And I mean, to me, this is a silver lining if I ever saw one. Like, I would just be relaxed. Like, no matter what happens, I'm good. But think about the other card that popped out. Lovers. Both of these say time for a decision. And the Eight of Pentacles reverse says time for a change. It's the right time to change. And then Strength says you're going to be in the right place at the right time. It's all going to work out. And with Justice and the Hermit that we had in the past, you may not have been thinking about something very deeply, but I think you're going to end up thinking deeply about something. I also see with Justice, any progress you make is going to stem from any kind of adjustments you make in your belief system. So you're going to have to change your mind or your beliefs about something. It could be about a person or an organization. Also, Justice is a change for the better. You're going to get out of something toxic. Don't be passive, okay? Just, again, don't be passive. You're going to have to take some action. So if I said anything the opposite of that earlier, just go ahead and take that off out of your brain, delete it, because you're going to have to take some actions. Again, just examining yourself as well. And I do see that with that Magician we had, I see being misled to make a decision. Okay. So somebody may be trying to manipulate you or mislead you in order to make a different decision. But I see you're going to balance your intuition with your feelings, and you're going to realize that there's a right choice and a wrong choice. This card also, when you're making a choice, tells you to seek a mentor. And perhaps you weren't seeking a mentor before, but you should. Okay, seek somebody you really trust. Take their advice. because rights are going to be wrongs are going to be righted. Everything's going to come out okay, but somebody try to mislead you into making a decision that may not be in your best interest, but you're going to see it coming because you're not deceived here. And then with 8 of Pentacles reversed, I see losing an employment contract as well as Page of Pentacles. And I'm just going to tell you, I saw it again, okay? 8 of Pentacles upright. You saw me shuffle that deck a few times, didn't you? And it came up again. So for those of you moving on, I think you're moving on from a job as well as a love relationship, but there's a lot of work in here because we have Pentacles. When this is upright, this is a new job contract, okay? New employment, especially with Justice. So again, don't resist the change. You're not, because it's going to be good. It's going to be for the best, okay? You're going to be recognized for who you are. It's wonderful. I love seeing this at the end. That's all I have for you. You're going to be great. It's going to kind of not be so great currently into the near future, but there's a silver lining and you end up perfect. Really great. All right, Aries, I hope you enjoyed your reading for me. Let me know how it resonates for you at the bottom.